want to say something about my mama. Your mama did. Your mama did. Go dig up. Go dig up. Post a picture of your mama. She did. Pay respect. Stop playing with my mama.
One post, that's all it took. 50 Cent went on Instagram, dropped an old Crime Stoppers clip showing T.I. telling people to report crimes anonymously, captioned it with nothing but implications, and walked away. The internet didn't just react, it detonated. Within hours, T.I.'s name was trending. Old court documents were being screenshot and shared. Comment sections turned into courtrooms. Fans who had been asking for a Versus battle for years suddenly forgot about the music completely because this wasn't about hits anymore. It never was. To understand why this hit so hard, you have to go back to 2003. That year, 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Tryin' and sold over 800,000 copies in its first week. New York was back on top. 50 represented survival, grit, and East Coast dominance. Down in Atlanta, T.I. dropped trap music and quietly rewired hip-hop's DN heavy 808s, sharp hi-hats, hustle stories rooted in southern streets. He didn't just make music, he helped build an entire sound that would eventually take over the industry. By the late 2000s, the South wasn't just participating in hip-hop, it was running it. That shift created tension. New York had always been seen as the culture's birthplace and gatekeeper. T.I. crowning himself King of the South wasn't ego, it was a statement. And 50, he carried himself like royalty from the original throne. 2 kings, 2 regions, 1 culture, and no clear way to settle it. Until T.I. decided to make the call. T.I. went public. No riddles, no indirect shots. He said he wanted 50 Cent in a Versus battle. Catalog versus catalog, South versus New York. The 2 icons from the same era finally settling it on stage. Fans lost it. This was the matchup people had been asking for since 2020. T.I. even framed it as part of what he called his final album run, making the moment feel historic before it even happened. Everyone waited for 50's response. What they got was not what anyone expected. 50 Cent didn't say yes, he didn't say no. He did something far more calculated. He pulled up a 2010 Atlanta Crime Stoppers commercial, footage of T.I. encouraging citizens to report crimes anonymously, posted it on Instagram, and let the caption do the damage. No lengthy explanation, no diss track, just an implication, a timestamp, and a comment section full of gasoline. Then he posted again. Courtroom footage from 2008, connected to the trial of the man convicted of killing T.Y.'s close friend, Philin Johnson. Again, no context provided. He didn't need to give any. This is the 50 Cent playbook. And if you've been paying attention, you've seen it before. With J. Rule, he didn't just drop diss tracks, he chipped away at Jaw's credibility until the public turned. With Rick Ross, the moment he found out Ross had worked as a correctional officer, Officer Ricky became a meme that followed him for years. With Young Buck, he leaked a private phone call. With The Game, he went public with internal G-Unit drama. 50 never fights on the battlefield his opponent chooses. You pick music, he gives you reputation. You pick competition, he gives you humiliation. And he always wraps it in humor so people share it before they think twice. So instead of he gave everyone something louder. Doubt. I didn't panic. He didn't rant. He did something smarter. He addressed it directly and calmly. The Crime Stoppers, PSA, court-ordered. As part of his 2007 federal weapons plea deal, he was required to complete thousands of hours of community service, including public service announcements. It wasn't voluntary cooperation, it was a legal requirement. The courtroom footage, he was testifying in the trial of the man convicted of killing Philin Johnson, his best friend since childhood. Philin died in a 2006 nightclub shooting that many believed was meant for T.Y. himself. T.Y.'s response was simple. If your best friend dies protecting you and you're legally required to speak on what you witnessed, what exactly are you supposed to do? He then made the challenge nobody could easily walk back from. He told the internet, if there's real paperwork proving cooperation, show it. Because in prison culture, that kind of information travels fast. It doesn't stay hidden, and he had served his time without that stain following him on the inside. But here's the problem T.I. couldn't solve. The internet doesn't move on logic, it moves on optics, and every time 50 reposted something, the doubt stayed alive. No matter how clearly T.I. explained it, here's the question nobody wants to ask out loud. Why hasn't 50 actually stepped into the ring? On paper, a Versus between these two would be legendary, 2 early 2000s titans, 2 catalogs stacked with platinum. It would pull millions of live viewers without question. But a live battle comes with one thing 50 can't control: real-time judgment. You can't edit a Verzeuse. You can't meme your way out of a moment that's happening live in front of millions. And while 50 has undeniable classics, his chart dominance was concentrated in a shorter window. T.I. stretched his run across multiple eras, radio hits, club records, crossover smashes, consistently for over a decade. That doesn't mean 50 loses. It means the outcome isn't guaranteed, and 50 has built his entire brand on dominance, not coin flips. By refusing the stage, he stays in control. He doesn't validate the challenge. He doesn't give T.I. a fair shot. Instead, he keeps the battlefield on social media, where timing, sarcasm, and shock value are his weapons. Silence becomes strategy. Every time fans debate whether he's ducking, his name trends. I mean, every clip he posts spikes his engagement. He wins without performing a single verse. And T.I., he benefits too. Every headline keeps his name circulating during what he's calling a final album run. Streams go up, interviews get more views, the narrative works for him whether the battle happens or not. So maybe the real question isn't who would win on stage. Maybe it's who actually needs this moment more? Strip away the memes, the reposted clips, the comment section wars, and you'll see something much bigger. This was never really about a verse. When 50 resurfaced that old footage, he wasn't debating music, he was attacking identity. When T.I. defended himself, he wasn't just protecting a challenge, he was protecting 30 years of credibility built from nothing. Because in hip-hop, once your name gets attached to certain accusations, even whispers, it follows you. The court of public opinion doesn't require evidence, it just requires a viral post and a comment section. Both of these men understand that better than almost anyone. They know that attention is currency in 2026, that outrage spreads faster than albums, that a confrontation handled well can do more for your legacy than a #1 record. Years from now, people won't just remember the trolling, they'll remember who stood firm under pressure, who controlled the narrative, who let emotion win, and who didn't. The real battle isn't happening on a stage, it's happening in perception. And right now, neither man is blinking. Look, hip-hop has always been about more than music. It's been about respect, about where you come from. Why, it's about whether your story holds up when people start digging. And that's what makes this 50 versus T.I. situation so fascinating to watch. Because both of these men built their careers on authenticity, on the idea that what you say in your music actually reflects who you are in real life. That was the contract they made with their fans from day one. So when that authenticity gets questioned, even through old clips, even through implications, even without hard proof, it hits different than any diss track ever could. 50 knows that, T.I. knows that. And honestly, we all know that. The question is where this goes from here. Does 50 keep trolling until T.I. snaps? Does T.I. find a way to flip the narrative back? Does this ever actually make it to a stage? Or does it live forever in Instagram posts and comment sections, whatever happens next? One thing is certain, this is not over. Drop your take in the comments right now. Who do you think is winning this? 50 Cent or T.I.? And if this Verzeuse ever actually happened, who walks away with the crown? I read every single comment, so let me know. If you're new here, welcome. We cover hip-hop's biggest moments, deepest rivalries, and the stories behind the stories. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, with 50 involved, it's never quiet for long. I'll see you in the next one.